Hey, Omega.
Yes, Gunner.
So, you know, we don't talk about him very much on this show, but Chris Benoit committed that murder-suicide nearly 8 years ago. I can't believe it's been 8 years since that happened, first and foremost. But secondly, do you know what's just as bad as that?
Didn't TNA start getting a TV deal around that time?
Well, they had a TV deal, but they got Impact 2 hours, I believe, at that time. Because they were 1 hour. They were a 1 hour show between that point. But no. It's at the same time, mind you, that other angles, such as I believe Piggy James and other various angles that and Muhammad Hassan a couple years previous. Perfectly fine angles, but no, if you say the N-word in a video that's been leaked, that was part of a court case, it makes you just as bad as Christian Benoit. There you go. Just remember that, everybody. This is something you said in the privacy of somebody's home, and it just got released, apparently. Yeah, there you go. That's just as bad as Christian Benoit. Let's start the show. Hello everyone, and welcome to Serious, episode number 168. My name is Gunner, that is Omega BR.
Yes, I'm fighting a bit of a illness right now, but I'm not the one with the cotton in my medicine bottle.
Also joining us this week is our wonderful technical producer, Mr. Game. Yes?
No amount of my magic can fix whatever shit Gunner's got going on over there.
Let me tell you something. It's been a hell of a week for me. I've had my internet cut, which was just a great feeling to find out the other day. Luckily for me, there are 3 other internet lines that run to this house, and I was able to be instantly connected to another one, so there you go. But let's get started with something that's completely unexpected, and that's the news.
Well, Hulk Hogan was fired and struck from all things. Well, took too goddamn long. I can't be having all this dead air.
You took you long enough to start that intro music. I mean, come on. Hulk Hogan was fired and scrubbed from all things WWE after the Nashville Enquirer revealed they have audio of a conversation Hogan had with Heather Clem, in which she expresses disdain over his daughter Brooke's music career, and that she may be dating the son of an executive who happens to be black, and using the N-word more than once. Other audio has him using a homophobic slur to describe a man now living in his childhood home, and a prison call audio of Hulk speaking with Nick, saying the word means they're brothers. The debacle has cost shareholders $50 million, apparently. I'm not sure how exactly that works. But the opening sequence of the new Celebrity Death Pool film will likely have to be redone as it involved Hogan. Hogan believes that Gawker leaked the story, as the footage was a part of the sealed records as a part of their ongoing lawsuit. This would be probably what's happening, considering the debacle with Gawker there. Just a little refresher. Essentially, if Hulk Hogan is successful in his lawsuit, he will bankrupt Gawker. So, who do we cheer for here?
I don't even know. Everybody knew that Hogan was a horrible human being. Anybody who was trying to pretend to be surprised by this is baffling, in my opinion. But can we just hope for both to just tear each other to pieces and then not have to deal with it anymore?
Well, one would think that would be the case, but at the same time, I don't understand why he got the Benoit treatment. I mean, yeah, sure, what he said was reprehensible. What he says was just plain ignorant. But at the same time, I'm not trying to defend him being a racist or anything like that, or even calling him a racist at this point, because that's not necessarily, just because he says these things doesn't necessarily make him a racist. It's just...
Well,
hold on. Hold on.
Kind of.
It kind of does, yeah. I mean, the way he speaks, and it's over a longer period of time. But it's not necessarily... Oh, God.
See what you did? And you know what's about to happen? He's about to say something, and I'm probably going to agree with it, and it's going to be your fault, so...
Okay, let me just go out here. First of all, you ask who we should root for. I really believe it's Hulk Hogan, because over the decades, Gawker has proved that it's the devil. And I do not use that phrase lightly or flippantly. Gawker is the devil, period. If Gawker is destroyed tomorrow, it is my actual belief that this world will be a much better place, and take all of its affiliates with it. Now, as for Hogan, I don't want to defend what he said, but I really believe that this is coming from... I mean, we've seen the guy in action, his public persona, which we know is quite different from his private persona, which he tries to get the most money possible for him, and tries to put him in the front of the line, on the top of the marquee, everywhere else. And, the old saying, if you're not making money, why are you in this business? I don't want to get as nasty or as piratey or as mercenary as that, but, that's Hulk Hogan. Everybody's, seen his public persona, and at the very least, I think I would forgive him for this, because I believe, and I might be totally wrong, that this is coming from a place of he didn't like the guy who was dating his daughter, who happened to be black, and then he did the stupid thing of bringing race into this when he just should have said, I don't like this son of a bitch, I want to kick his ass.
Hulk Hogan, more like Hulk Honky.
Oh, God, you've been waiting to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I don't think Hogan is a tried and true racist. I think he is dumb. I think over the years Hogan has deluded himself into certain things in his mind that, he was... He may very well be wrestling's biggest star ever, but he seems to delude himself into thinking that, that becomes a grander accomplishment. The fact that he slammed the 2,500-pound Andre in front of the entire World Cup audience in Detroit, that kind of thing. I agree with NJ to a...
Pounds World Cup?
Well, he said it, not me. I think, I agree with NJ to a point. It was more out of anger than it was necessarily hate. That being said, some of the things he said are not exactly... it's not the use of the word, it's the fact that he seemed to be upset with her dating a guy of African-American descent. That's what it sounds like on the audio. I mean, maybe the way it's been transcribed, maybe it is more of a case of him being upset by Brooke, because remember, this was kind of during that low point in his life when Brooke's career wasn't really going off, and he and Linda were separated, and Nick was, having his legal problems and everything. And speaking of which, that prison audio, I think he says something like, if we get reincarnated, God forbid, we become a pair of Blizzak is our others. I don't even know what he is. Something like that. So that's
Did he
kind
say,
of
wait a minute. Did was he speaking Carney?
unintentionally.
I'm not even sure if Hogan would know who Carney is.
Hogan would speak Carney. Yeah, definitely Hogan would speak Carney. The point I'm trying to make is I'm not trying to sit here and defend him. He's definitely said some fucked up shit in this particular instance, and it's over a longer period of time of him saying this stuff. And what I don't understand is
You're asking why he got scrubbed.
yeah, I mean, why would
Because
you
we're
scrub the
sick of
guy?
Because they're sick of him. Because this happens every time he comes back. They celebrate him and do all this stuff with him, and then at some point they just get sick of him again. And if they really weren't sick of him, they would defend him. They would not necessarily defend him, but be like, Hogan, he's being sent to sensitivity. Listen, Michael Cole tweeted the F word. I'm sure half the guys. No, the homophobic word.
Are there homophones for fuck? I don't think there are any homophones for fuck.
No. What you call net jester? No. It's the thing you call net
Fatty?
jester off the air. No, the one with the G.
The British word for cigarette
Foghorn?
isn't used in this.
Yeah, I call him foghorn sometimes.
Hey, my point is, listen, we all know the kind of business wrestling is. Half the Hall of Fame has probably at least thought the word, if not said it outright. Jerry Lawler, I'm a fan of the guy.
Jerry Lawler.
He's not perfect, but I would be shocked if he's never said it. Being the Memphis King of Wrestling in, the 60s, 70s, etc. Honestly, I'd be shocked if John Cena never said it. Based on his sort of rap persona and everything. But at the end of the day, like I said, I think it's a different environment. I think a lot of it, to be honest with you, has to do with Triple H and Stephanie. Because they're trying to paint a picture of WWE being this family-friendly, mothers and daughters, empowerment type of company, and you can't really get away with that if people are talking about this sort of thing.
Almost
So-
daughters only to an exclusion.
I mean, I don't think Hogan is, for all the stupidity that he has, I don't think he's necessarily that stupid. I think he just, it's a very fine line, but I think at the same time you have to consider that these were private thoughts, and again, not to defend them, but we all say and do things in private that we wouldn't want made public.
Exactly.
And Hogan is a very public figure, so as any celebrity really is, and you can't really, you're always under the microscope. But I'll say this: if it's proven that Gawker did find a way to leak it to somebody else, they will probably lose by default, and whoever did it will probably face jail time.
Probably. And then everything will be reversed. And everything will be reversed.
And
To die.
I'm kind of the opinion that Hogan's going to be rich no matter what happens, and Gawker is. I'm not a big fan of Gawker's overall attitude of being rebel journalists, but then they turn around and yank articles that they pick and choose, and just their general attitude of we print whatever we want, we're not afraid to print it, but then really it just comes down to whatever we want to print, we'll print. It's not necessarily about doing the right thing, so to speak.
It's all clickbait, is all Gawker media is nothing but
Dies.
their entire... they're not even journalists. They are people who provide information in such a way as to cater to a certain crowd in order to garner page views and ad revenue. It's like you don't go to Gawker Media for news if you want like actual information. The same way you don't go to Fox if you want actual information, or you don't go to NBC if you want actual information. You just...
Where will all the hipsters go if Gawker dies?
Or RT, or... I mean, look, it's just they want to cater to a certain audience. They're completely useless, as are most other... and it's not just Gawker. There's others like them.
There's the fact that this audio that of him saying these things, it's been released piece by piece. It wasn't a big sort of release where it was like, look at all these comments that prove. It was like, here's a comment, now here's some audio, now here's another transcript. And it feels more like they want the attention than it is, look at this terrible person.
Right,
People
and
should know.
it's if this was something that should have been damned, or something that should have been, not damned, but something that should have been a big deal, or that was actual concrete enough to be able to condemn him, it would have all come out at once. It would have all been this big thing, and they wouldn't have done it for attention, which is why I believe that that you're probably right, Omega, in saying that, or the news story is right that says that Hogan believes that Gawker leaked the story, because it seems like something Gawker would do. It's right along the line of ethics, and I think that's exactly what we're saying here. So, for those of you,
and by the way, let me just say. The reason the stockholders lost so much money is because the stock went down, of course, following the news, and they had to cancel many projects. They had to, scrub him out of the video games, the movie.
Right.
The 8 figures that they were going to be.
He's off Tough Enough, which is a big priority right now.
Wow.
Which is terrible, by the way, terrible.
Yeah, it is.
It is quite possibly the worst Tough Enough they've ever done.
I've stopped watching it. And I was so excited about it.
Me too!
It was so terribly unnecessary for them to do all of this. They could have handled it in much different and better ways, but to give him the full Benoit treatment, I'm going to ask anybody from WWE this out, flat out, if they're listening. I know I might be stretching too far in my own mind, but who did Hogan kill? Tell me that, WWE. Who did Hogan kill?
I died a little inside. How about that?
Alright, speaking of dying a little bit inside, and I'm going to read the next news article because I think we need to move on from this. A good number of TNA talent contracts will likely be dropped, being replaced by per-appearance deals rather than a monthly guarantee. MVP has parted ways with TNA, and Bully Ray as well, recently returned as the authority figure, has already departed. There are conflicting reports as to why Bully was not able to appear on the Philadelphia NXT show, from Bully having an ear injury to WWE being not interested due to his involvement with TNA. Kurt Angle said in an interview that he would love to have his final match against Daniel Bryan, of all people. Ring of Honor sent a cease and desist to GFW over ads that advertised ROH stars appearing on their shows. So, in the second tier wrestling world, GFW seems to be completely irrelevant. After reading the spoilers from this particular week, I have lost all respect and faith in this particular project, and I think everyone else should too. Don't get your hopes up. It doesn't look good, and it looks like TNA++ without Dixie Carter, which might be a good thing and might sound like a good thing, but I guarantee you that it is not.
Well, it's not like it. I don't think anyone ever thought Dixie was the sole problem with TNA. She's the root of the problems in TNA, but she's not the sole. It's like you get a cut on your finger and you get an infection, and then you keep getting infections. Sure, the cut on your finger is where the infections are coming from, but it's not the sole thing that's making your kidneys and heart and liver shut down.
No, it's Dixie Carter and the people that she put around her to help run the company.
Damn,
Right.
take it easy, Yankum. I'm eating here.
Dixie is the paper cut on your finger, and then all the other problems are the various germs, viruses, and nematodes that go in and infect the body through that paper cut.
Nematodes. What about RC3?
I want to see Bully Ray on TV.
Bully Ray. I really hope that Bully Ray just comes back to the WWE. I just want to see him in the WWE.
Well, the Tudleys would like another run. WWE doesn't seem too interested, though.
Not terribly interested, but they seem to want to an extent. I mean, it's definitely something that it just keeps being brought up, and I can't not believe that they wouldn't want to do something like that.
It'd be a Team 3D reunion would be good for like a nostalgia thing, like what they did with
The Rage Outlaws.
DX. Yeah, the New Age Outlaws.
Well, but we're also kind of back to the tag division really not meaning anything.
Yeah, we're back to that. Yeah.
GFW does look a lot like TNA, just different people. That's a problem.
Well,
That's a big problem because it looks like TNA, which looked like USWA, which looked like every single thing that the Jarretts have ever been producing in the past 50 years.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, we haven't even seen the first show. I mean, we've seen leaks from the live show that's just happened, but we haven't seen the live show in its entirety on TV. So I'm willing to give Global Force the benefit of the doubt until I see its product because it's brand new, and Lord knows that TNA has had decades to try to fix what's wrong with it.
I guess my issue is, if GFW is just gonna get into a war with TNA, which it sounds like they are, then what's even the point?
Right. And all right, I'm going to spoil this for everybody, and I apologize. You might want to turn down your radio here for a second, for like 30 seconds here. So apparently, spoilers. GFW's the heel faction in the TNA GFW feud. And it sounds like every other feud that TNA's ever done, from the Main Event Mafia to Fortune
Faction Wars.
God.
They've probably had at least 100 factions.
Well, you think if Global Force is the bad guy here, that'd probably be the one condition that Dixie Carter had for this partnership going forward, if you want to call it that.
I think the sad reality is they need each other because TNA is really limping to the barn, or crawling to the barn, doing that warm push forward thing to the barn more than they ever have. And GFW took so long to get off the ground, it doesn't even really know what it is. So they've stuck with what's familiar.
Okay, I want to point something out as well. TNA the rumors going around right now, TNA will be off the air by the end of the year. And they have nowhere to go. No one wants them.
Not yet.
No, they have nowhere to go. I highly doubt that they will find another television deal in the United States anytime within the near future. And that will kill them.
I think you hit the nail on the head in the United States. Remember, there is a place in the land where kings and queens have ate pork and beans, if you'll excuse me, a Dusty Rhodes reference, where TNA is actually popular.
Well, yeah, I mean, the England and over there, I mean, if they get like an ITV or something lower than that even TV deal and they base themselves out of the UK, maybe they could survive. But at the end of the day, no, that's just not going to happen.
Well, they wouldn't do it. Even if they had the opportunity to do it, they still wouldn't do it because they're fucking morons.
Right. Man, we are talking a lot tonight.
Yeah, it has been a while. Speaking of talking, Jushin Thunder Liger will appear at the Brooklyn NXT TakeOver event during SummerSlam weekend in what is being described as a major double cross, given that Ring of Honor is running head-to-head with the event. Apparently the idea has been pitched to at least one arena or venue that NXT would run there, as long as they no longer run Ring of Honor. New Japan is actually undergoing a major international expansion, naming ROH, Global Force, NWA, CMLL, WXW, and Revolution Pro as partners, along with a Young Lions program similar to NXT. It's also been said that the use of several apron spots at Battleground was a direct reference to Ring of Honor and their style of wrestling. In addition, it looks as though Ring of Honor will no longer have that Wednesday spot on Destination America for the time being, as the channel wants to try out other programming there. And AXS TV and TV Asahi have reached a multi-year agreement to continue airing New Japan Friday nights for a long time coming.
Good news there. Even though I have to watch Access on the internet instead of having it on my cable system, I appreciate NJPW on that channel.
So you've got Liger. Liger can go where he wants. You know, he's not bound by New Japan or Ring of Honor or anything like that. But it is kind of a slap in the face to Ring of Honor, who have had this working partnership with New Japan for a few years now. And there's been a lot of hush-hush, wink-wink talk among, people, like the guys from The Observer, and I think PW Insider even, about things like, there's a lot of stuff going on that might shake things up, change the face. I mean, are we talking New Japan invasion or exchange with NXT? I don't know. That's kind of what's been hinted. I think that's probably a little dreamy, but I mean, who would have expected this announcement?
No one, really. And he's going to face, the Prince of Pretty. What's his face?
Are you kidding? Jushin Thunder Liger's going up against Tyler Breeze?
Yep.
Wow.
Here's what it is, right? Do you know who Jushin faced in ROH? That has a very similar gimmick?
Who?
Dalton Castle.
Oh, boy. That whack-a-mole.
So, there you go. That's why that's happening.
Well, I would love him to do, something with Sammy, or even good old Knockout, even though he's on the main roster now. But still,
This should still be fun. This should still be fun.
I'm glad he's there, and I'm glad that the WWE is giving him props because, if I had my way, Thunder Liger, although he is practically a god in Japan, I wish he would come to the U.S. for an extended period of time.
He does every so often. I mean, it's not like, he's just over there for a while. By the way, G1 tournament, been great. I would highly recommend watching it.
A couple of shows, it's been good.
Alright, let's move on here. We're wrapping up the news here. By the way, I'm really looking forward to that Brooklyn NXT TakeOver thing. They're really taking it to ROH, aren't they? Jonathan Coachman has been pushing ESPN to cover this year's SummerSlam, which is 4 hours, as a major event, convincing some that the WWE is hot right now, even though the ratings are at record lows. A new fan survey presents the idea of WWE offering pay-per-views standalone for $5, $4.99, as an alternative to the subscription fee. Fired executive Lisa Lee Fox was the point person for WWE's bid on the old Paul Bausch Houston Wrestling tape library, which NWA Bruce Tharp made the winning bid on, leading to the NWA streaming service. By the way, I was listening to that on The Observer, and the way that it was explained, that Meltzer was explaining it, essentially what Meltzer saw was that they both own the rights to the same footage, but with this most recent sale to Bruce Tharp, I would imagine that that would take precedence over that one. And the crew of Steve Austin's Broken Skull Ranch walked off the set wanting an IATSE contract for benefits and pensions. The Rock will have a starring role in the new Baywatch movie, and Jersey Shore's Angelina Pivarnik claims she is training for a WWE tryout. This is the same, I believe that's the same girl that...
Hello?
What the hell just happened?
What happened?
You just dropped
You
out
went.
there.
Yeah, you suck.
Damn it. Come here.
Okay, so say what you said again.
Angelina Pivarnik claims she's training for a WWE tryout. That was the chick that left the show after the third episode of the first season.
So anybody would remember then. That is, if anybody ever remembers anything from Jersey
Well,
Shore.
if I remember right, she did appear for TNA at one point.
She did, and she also has a music single that she tried to put out there, and it was just absolutely pathetic. So I would imagine that this tryout would be the same thing.
So, has anybody... I must admit, I've only seen about 15 minutes of Broken Skull Ranch. Is that any good?
I haven't really seen a lot of it either. It's basically Redneck Island, but from Austin's ranch. Not even really his ranch. I think they shoot in Los Angeles, and just different challenges. Dumb stuff.
I haven't seen much of it.
Well, then my bit of any interest as far as I'm concerned is, could the WWE make it back on pay-per-views for $5? Because as far as I've seen, they've been dropped from DirecTV and they've been dropped from Dish, their pay-per-views, so...
Well, it's an interesting question, because I think a lot of the people who haven't subscribed are really only interested in about 5 to 10% of what's on the network, and a huge chunk of that is pay-per-views. So I wonder, if there was a pay-per-view I wanted to see, and I was particularly interested, and, maybe I would shell out $5. I mean, $5 is $5. A lot of people who have $5 aren't necessarily gonna hem and haw about spending it. I mean, $10, you might say the same about $10, but
There's a difference. There's a difference there too. Yeah.
yeah.
So, and Coach is pushing his ESPN brass to, cover this year's SummerSlam, which is going to be the end of summer's WrestleMania. Wow.
I just want to point something out to everyone. They are apt to cover they are apt to cover the WWE when it's controversial, but they aren't apt to cover the WWE when something good is going on. Tell me that that's fair.
Well, to be truthful, to be fair, they did do a surprising amount, as far as I'm concerned, of coverage of last year's WrestleMania 31.
Well, right. Yeah, and they should be doing the same amount of coverage for SummerSlam, too.
31
At
was
least
this
that's my
year.
opinion.
It's just not
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah, they covered 31.
I think the idea is that ESPN isn't really doing that well right now. Probably a lot of it due to the internet and stuff like that. People, they have some shows people like, some personalities, but as far as general sports news, I think people would rather just bring up a website than, watch the scroll and watch the side scroll and So maybe if they cover it, it might get some wrestling fans interested in checking it out, because there really isn't a lot of televised coverage for that kind of thing that doesn't come straight from the source. Anyway,
I have no idea.
time will tell, as we say when we've run out of things to say.
Yes, we've run out of things to say. And I believe it is time for... Yes, the 15-minute time limit. Battleground results. Battleground results? We're talking about battleground results at this point?
Unless you don't want to. Well, the thing about Battleground is it's kind of been regarded as the worst show of the year because it's kind of in that awkward spot between Money in the Bank, right, and SummerSlam. And they don't necessarily really... It's kind of like how before WrestleMania, you know, they kind of, even though those are too important, it's kind of like Fastlane now, because, you know, Fastlane is like, they already kind of know what they want to do for Mania and really have for a while. So I guess the question is, did it retain its worst show of the year spot this year? And based on the results, I would probably lean toward yes.
I don't know, man. I'm waiting for that October pay-per-view, you know, craziness that's going to go down. And when everybody's, like, really bored. And I don't know. I would hold off on saying that it is. Because actually, let me say something. The King Barrett match was decent. It was okay. It was a funny opening match. It was alright.
With truth, yeah. I feel like that's the kind of match you need to have in the pre-show.
Exactly.
One that, you know, kind of has a story, but a dumb little story that gets resolved pretty quickly.
Right. Like WLC. I mean, that was perfect for that. Not saying that WLC was, you know, the most ideal match to put on there, but at the same time, it's just it's supposed to be for the feuds on superstars that carry over into, you know, that need culminating. Beyond that, Randy Orton defeating Sheamus was Randy Orton and Sheamus again, you know, the umpteenth million time. That was an okay match.
You can't say it was bad, awful, anything like that, but nothing we haven't seen from these two before.
Exactly. PTP defeating the New Day was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I think PTP have a noticeable energy when they're in the ring. I think they really want to deliver an exciting tag team match. Not to say that New Day doesn't. I'm just saying, I think, well, really both of them, really. But
what's his face? Titus O'Neil is quite possibly the most entertaining announcer that they have.
And that's saying something.
He's really good!
He really doesn't pull any punches. He's very blunt with all the announcers, including JBL.
I want to see the Acolytes versus PTP at WrestleMania.
The Acolytes? Are you kidding me?
Yep. I'm perfectly serious. APA versus the PTP, WrestleMania. Make it happen.
Wow, okay.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Well, that'd be awesome. I don't know if it's a chance in hell of it happening.
Right. The New Day is the best gimmick in the WWE right now.
That's awesome.
I don't know about that.
Who's better?
I don't know if it's a good gimmick, but I think as far as tag teams, the best performers, even though I love primetime players, are right now the Lucha Dragons.
Well, I mean, you could say Lucha was their gimmick, because that's not something...
That's their only gimmick. That's Lucha. That's all they do. I'm just a big fan of the New Day.
They have the little... Look, I loved New Day, too. I loved the New Day before you did, because I seem to remember you being like, oh...
no, I didn't think New Day was very good at the beginning. No, New Day was not good at the beginning. But now, they are so much better, and it's amazing.
And what did I say? I said, give it time.
You were right. I fully admit that. But in all seriousness, this was actually a really good match. And, okay, so the next match is Bray Wyatt defeating Roman Reigns. Guess who's got two thumbs and isn't going to shit on this match? This guy.
Yeah, I had said before, if they're doing this thing with Roman where I kind of get the feeling they want to try again with him at WrestleMania 32. I think they're having him do these matches with these sort of notable people to kind of try to build up his fan base in a way. I don't know. I don't find him bad, but I don't find him getting better, more remarkable, more. Wow, this guy really does kind of deserve to be in the main event.
It seemed on the same level. It seemed on the same level as honestly as Sheamus and Orton. It wasn't a boring match. It wasn't a bad match, but it was definitely something that we've seen from both of them with other people before. But it was good. They kept the energy up. They did a good job of keeping my attention, and overall, I agreed with the finish. I mean, the finish was exactly the way it should have been.
Okay, I'm just going to come out and say it. A lot of people have been shitting on Wyatt as of late on Woo, and let's just say he's kind of lost his luster to me, too. I don't know where the character itself goes, even though he's a good worker. Some of his shtick is getting old as far as in-the-ring performance, and basically, Bunny Cat has lost his magic rabbit's foot. I don't know what else to say about this guy.
I'm still just sitting here waiting for somebody to figure out that I didn't even watch the pay-per-view.
Why didn't you watch the pay-per-view?
No time. I didn't even get to watch Raw. I mean, this week has fucking sucked.
This one was terrible. This week was terrible.
So I'm not missing anything, and it doesn't matter.
Okay, come on. You're telling me that you didn't get a chill in your black, gleeful little Schadenfreude heart when none other but the man, the myth, the legend, John Cena got a knee to the nose.
I didn't see it, so
that
I
was
didn't miss
hilarious.
I was talking to Gunner there, but
that was hilarious. It was bad because it's a really bad break, and it was very obvious that Seth really hurt him after that.
But then he made Seth tap out, so I don't really feel bad for him.
Nope. Cena win, lol.
And by the way, let's skip this next match just for a second. John Cena did beat Kevin Owens, and by the way, it was clean. And by the way, it was by submission.
Oh, and one more thing. It's exactly the same pattern that Rusev fell into.
And I didn't like that. And the match, I felt, was strikingly similar to their previous two matches. I thought the moves, for the most part, were the same. The sequences were the same. Nothing new was really accomplished. And I think it's a complete waste, to be honest with you. I think it's awful. I think maybe the worst thing they've done this year, because you call this guy Owens up, you give him a clean win, and then you give him 2 clean losses. So, and now what's he doing? He's in walking away from random matches with Cesaro and Rusev and whoever. So, what was even the point?
Yeah, what was the point of bringing him up from NXT if he's going to do this stuff?
I feel like they wouldn't have if Sami Zayn wasn't injured.
Sammy.
But honestly, I just didn't like the match. I thought it was very repetitive. I think it's unfair to call it a bad match. Like I said, I think I've seen it. This is the 3rd time I've seen it. And the only difference was Cena. I think Owens busted out in AA. I think he maybe had not done that before. But then, and maybe the STF as well. But then, Cena got out of it, of course, and Owens tapped, and people were saying, oh, but it was a tiny tap. It was on the hand, on the wrist. It wasn't like a mat slapper. Obviously he's gonna argue that he didn't really tap out. He was just trying to gain leverage, and no, none of that happened. Cena, the next night, Cena interrupted Rollins, and now Cena's in the main event picture again.
The Mad Slapper. I think we found you a gimmick, Omega, if you ever want to go pro.
It's absolutely ridiculous that they would sit there and they would do that. I mean, it's just another opportunity for somebody else to, finally, take that title and make it meaningful. Because it isn't necessarily how you win it or how you lose it, it's how you held it. And at this point in the game, before everything with Rollins, I was perfectly happy with giving Cena, giving Cena all the wins in the world so that he could be Lul Cena in his little division all by himself, essentially. And so then you throw Kevin Owens in there, and it's like, oh, look, it's the first guy that he can contend with, that he can win, and that can beat him, and that should beat him, and win that U.S. Championship. And now he's just another guy. When Undertaker and Brock were fighting, Kevin Owens was in the scuffle trying to separate things. Was John Cena in the scuffle? No. Was Seth Rollins in the scuffle? No.
Nope.
So you sit there and tell me that they're going to start treating Kevin Owens, special or something like that, and you got another thing coming, buddy.
I just don't get why he couldn't win even dirty. That's the thing. There aren't very many dirty finishes anymore. There are.
He should have won. You're absolutely right.
Luke Harper, helped Wyatt win, which I guess was kind of a surprise, but. Yeah, to lose clean and by submission, second time in a row, and now, that's... You can see where their priorities lie, and maybe it's a power struggle backstage where Owens got the win and people thought he needed to get the win back immediately. I don't know, but it is really ridiculous, and it really just... There's no point in really doing these... The storytelling is just the story doesn't go anywhere. It's the same. We could talk about it all night. We all know.
It's just absolutely ridiculous that for some reason, for the past 12 years, John Cena has had the same feud with every single man he has feuded with ever since Edge.
And that's the part that really bugs me is, Rusev dominated the roster for a year before he got the token Cena feud and wasn't important anymore. Owens' very first feud was with Cena, so now he's
not important anymore. Not important anymore. Nope.
That's not to say his career is over or anything, but,
There's someone out there really likes Cena and really likes to keep him really strong. And I swear to God, if John Cena wins another championship, another WWE championship before he retires, I will be quite angry. Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar went to a no contest after Undertaker appeared. And this wasn't the cool part. The cool part was when the Undertaker promo the next night. I was like 6 and very happy that Undertaker was talking the way that he was talking, and it was just the best opening promo Raw has had in years.
I did get to catch bits and pieces of that, and holy fuck. It was like, I can't even say, how happy it made me for The Undertaker to be on Raw. And the promo he cut was just absolutely fucking fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I think most people will give the fact that this match was a no contest a pass because it's fueling a much better match, really.
16 or 15 months in the making or whatever. Yeah, I am really looking forward to Brock and Taker 2. Taker gets his win back.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think it's a better match just marquee-wise. I don't know that it's going to be a great match.
It'll be passable.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I don't know.
I'm just looking forward to the two of them going at it again. It should be a lot better than the WrestleMania match. That's all I'm saying.
What do you say, NJ?
Well, the actual match between Rock. You did that on purpose, didn't you, Whack-A-Mole?
No, I really didn't.
That's a lie. That's such a lie. You are such a liar.
No, it was totally time. Look at what it's totally been time. Look, it's been time.
Time, yeah.
By the way, we did have a
It was a good match up to the no contest and Taker showing up.
Right.
we did have that Divas triple threat, which went 11 minutes and was pretty good by Divas match standards. But
And the right person went over.
I was kind of on the fence about it, to be honest with you, because they did a couple cool spots, like the one where Sasha stacked the other two up in the corner and kind of came down on them. But other than that, again, there's this weird disconnect where these matches are good by Divas match standards, but they're also pretty meh by NXT Divas standards. So you have this weird middle ground where, if it's not amazing, it's kind of obvious.
That definitely is one way of looking at it, yeah.
All right, let's move on here. Yeah.
Sheesh, Mr. Dubstep, did you repeat that enough times?
No.
Are you gonna do points?
No, that comes after. Oh, I didn't move that. That's my bad. That should be after the birthdays. Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
you got the ratings though.
I sure do. And this week with the ratings, we have Impact scoring 317,000 viewers, which is up from 293,000, and ROH up 139,000 from 80,000. Holy shit, that's pretty good. SmackDown scored 2.353 million, up from 2.153. And Raw drew 3.671 million, down 3.5% from last week's 3.085 million viewers. Finally, Tough Enough, 980,000 viewers, down from 1.114. Ouch.
Yep. They seem to be hovering around that number. Raw's been doing okay-ish. The ratings are down, but I'm arguing that does that really mean that wrestling is less popular? That kind of thing. With birthdays, it's you, Nat Jester.
And an extra special extended birthday edition on the 21st of this month, we have Shinjiro Otami and Kenny King. Then on the 22nd, we have none other than the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and the Fabulous Moolah, and one of the legends of Von Erich family, David Von Erich. On the 23rd, we have Pero Aguayo Jr. I think I got that. Who knows? On the 24th, we have none other than Carl the Mailman Malone and the lovely Miss Tori Wilson. On the 25th, we have the NXT Demon himself, Finn Balor, Murphy, and Kenjiro Suzuki. Hey, I think I nailed that. How you doing? Anyway, on the 26th, we have Icarus, and Tommy Wildfire Rich, and Roderick Strong. On the 27th, we have one of my all-time favorite legends, Maniac Matt Bourne, The Game Triple H, Shannon Moore, and Dolph Ziggler. On the 28th, we have Nick Jackson. On the 29th, we have the legendary Captain Lou Albano, and Big Papa Pump, or as the last
I gotta dumb myself down!
or as the last poster I saw his name on was Bug Papa Pump.
Give my bags! Give my bags!
Not unless you pay me better, damn it. Then on the 30th, we don't have anyone with a birthday, but on the 31st, we have none other than Johnny Ace himself, John Laurinaitis, Kid Cash, and Texarkano Jr. Then, rounding out the week on August 1st, we have Mike Chioda and Devon Dudley. On August 2nd, we have Mitch Ryder. And on August 3rd, we have the legendary Carl Gotch.
Alright, time for some points. Yankum, do it.
I was still taking points away from NetJester during the birthdays there, but let's go ahead and get this done. -10 to NetJester for showing up late, plus or -2 to Gunner for dead air, +1 to Omega Heart. Less than 3 smiley face. 4 to Gunner for applying logic during the TNA story. -4 to Gunner for applying logic during the TNA story. 3 points to NetJester, apparently just because I forgot to write a reason there. +2 to Gunner for the transition from the first and second story. -4 to Omega BR for dashing my hopes with Team 3D. -10 points to Gunner for spoilers. 32 points to Omega BR for using the phrase limping to the barn. Limping to the barn. -2 points to Gunner for rumors and speculation. It's not a nice thing to spread around. -4 to NetJester because I pretty much hate your guts. -5 to everyone during the third story? Yeah, the third story for talking about things that I don't care about. Let's see here. -4 to NetJester for saying wow, wow, wow. +20 to Gunner for pointing out the obvious. -5 again to Gunner for WLC. -15 to NetJester for trying to continue the bunny cat meme. Stop it. Stop it.
Off into the sunset.
+4 to NJ for Schadenfreude, and then -5 to NJ for the bad gimmick suggestions. -10 points to Gunner for thinking Kevin Owens was ever going to amount to anything while Vince is still alive. +6 to Omega BR for explaining the Divas problems. -6 to Omega BR for explaining the Divas problems for the 15th or 20th time. -15 to NetJester for saying none other than like 15 or 20 times during the goddamn birthdays. You don't have to say it every fucking time. And -5 for Mike Chioda. It's Chioda. Chioda. So that brings the points to -56 for NetJester. -12 for Gunner, and 24 to Omega BR.
Da 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 da.
You're just feeling all sorts of negative this week, aren't you?
It's been a rough time.
Mike Chioda. Da 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 da.
You are incorrect.
So you remember when I promised you that if you did something, I would not move you from the room anymore?
Oh, come on.
You're abusing it right now. Stop it.
Sharona Chioda.
Wait. I said I wouldn't move him from the room anymore. I didn't say I wouldn't do this. That's better.
You didn't move him.
It wasn't me. It was him. I just muted you.
Sorry. All right, enough of this drama.
This is.
I see the announcer guy. He's coming out of the bathroom now. And now it is time for This Week in Wrestling with Omega BR.
Yes, this week in wrestling history. So in 1967, where WWF World Champion Bruno Sammartino defeated Lou Albano in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Jump to 1976, where Mil Mascaras and Lou Thez wrestled to a time limit draw in Mexico City, Mexico at Universal Wrestling Association's first event. As a result, Thez was declared the first UWA World Heavyweight Champion on August 15th, 1977. And in 1985, the Cobra defeats Hiro Saito for the WWF World Junior Heavyweight title in Osaka, Japan. This match starts the Cobra's second reign with the title, but he would ultimately vacate it when WWF and New Japan break off their relations. And that was this weekend wrestling history.
Happy trails this week to Layla L, who announced her retirement from wrestling and her engagement to Rich Young,
Fuck Rich Young,
who fans know as Ricky Ortiz. And happy trails to the tough enough contestants such as Patrick and Mata, who have been offering training at the Monster Factory at 1/3 the usual $3,000 fee. Let me tell you something. Patrick and Mata were the two best people on that show, and they got eliminated. That is this is why this is the worst. Also, The Miz is now a judge. This is the worst Tough Enough ever.
Wait a minute. Hogan gets the axe and we're forced to put up with Miz?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. There's no reason to watch this show now.
It could be worse.
Nope.
If he had...
This could be worse.
It could be Michael P.S. Hayes.
I'd rather have that. That would be more entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know he'd just say the N-word and...
Oh, God.
And then we'd have to find yet another friggin' host. Or not host, but judge.
Alright, let's wrap this up.
Hayes, right? I mean,
We've been running.
Mind you, if Miz had not saved Amanda healing it up as he did, then she would have gone home instead of Mata.
Right, which is absolutely ridiculous. Alright, so what should we watch this week in wrestling, Netchester?
Well, actually, I thought that the only good thing about Raw on Monday was the John Cena-Seth Rollins match. Although we don't like it, Cena getting back in the title picture, I thought the match was overall pretty good. And if for no other reason, watch it again for Cena getting his nose broken.
Yanko, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
Well, I didn't watch any wrestling this week, so, fuck, I don't know. Just watch something.
You don't have a favorite match or something that you...
Well, fine. How about... Have I done Michaels versus Jericho at WrestleMania 20...
No, you have not.
Which one is that? 20... I want to say like...
4 or 5.
Is that 4? I thought it was before that.
No, that wasn't Safeco Field. No. HBK was HBK once against somebody else at that show. No, not that one. The other one where Jericho punched HBK's wife.
Huh? I don't remember that.
That wasn't the one I was talking about. But now I'm talking about that one. Now I'm talking about that one. You just reminded me that existed. I want you to go to YouTube and I want you to find the video of fucking Jericho punching his wife. Didn't he actually potato her on accident?
I think he potatoed her.
I'm pretty sure, like he didn't.
We're only laughing about this, by the way. We're only laughing about this, by the way, because it was a part of an angle, and because it's just so ridiculous that it actually happened.
Right.
So there you go.
This is almost Pillman's Got a Gun levels of, like, holy fuck, right? And I'm pretty sure he potatoed HBK's wife, and I'm sure he felt awful about it afterwards.
Right.
But she ends up with a huge... Yeah, it's fantastic. Go watch that.
All right, and Omega VR, which we watched this week in wrestling.
I would say watch some good Tough Enough. Like, I think Tough Enough 2 is one of the better seasons. It featured Matt Morgan. It had a lot of drama, really, because as you may remember, it had 2 female winners rather than 1 male and 1 female. So, you know.
Neither of which were ever heard from again.
And this week I'm going to tell you to watch, besides anything with Layla, because she's retired. She retires now. I'm actually going to tell you to watch WWE for all mankind: the life and career of Mick Foley Blu-ray. It is it is a lot of fun. I spent the past week watching it. It's got a lot of him on there, a lot of Noel. Just talking about his career and a bunch of the early stuff. A lot of Jim Ross, a lot of Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan's not a name that you would see on WWE these days. Not gonna lie, he's a little out there if you haven't realized that yet. But go watch it because it's the perfect encapsulation of the life and time of Mick Foley and his career in wrestling. They've got a few of the matches on there, and it's, if you've read the book, you know a lot of the stories, but it's like getting into his comedy act and whatnot. So yeah, go check that out. All right, so that's it for this week. Thank you very much for listening. We very much appreciate it. You can check us out online, smarkstark.com, facebook.com/smarkstark, twitter.com/smarkstark. Yankum and I tweet, live tweet Raw when we watch it. Sometimes we don't, sometimes we do. Sometimes I just forget to tweet, so there you go. You can also email us, smarksnark@gmail.com, and you could give us a phone call, 812-408-9666, 812-408-WOO. You could give us a phone call, we'll play it live on the air. If you've got questions, or if you've got comments, or if you just you just want to say lee or something like that, Alright, thank you very much for listening, and remember, we wish you well in your past, present, and future endeavors.
As long as it doesn't say ladle.
Negative 1,000 points for Yankum for doing that.
Wait, it's an Oblongs reference, right?
No, it's a SpongeBob reference.
No, it's an Oblongs. It's Oblongs. Maybe it's SpongeBob too, but there's an episode of the Oblongs where they figure out that I can't remember his name. The little boy has ADHD, and they're thinking about putting him on drugs, and they're like, "No, he has a perfect time paying attention." And then, 2 seconds later, from him being next to the table while they're talking about it, he's outside chasing a butterfly, going little. I thought you were making an Oblongs reference. My bad.
No, it's okay.
So
yeah, past, present, and future endeavors.
Okay, that's not the Jewish game with the top that spins around. Okay.
I'll explain all the things that are wrong with that when we're off the air. Omega VR, would you like to say goodnight to whichever town now?
Good night, the Valley.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ on a cross.